Hello everyone, my name is Martin, and in this video I will tell you a bit more about Atavism Option Choices module. So Option Choices module is basically like a library of dictionaries in Atavism, and it's useful when we are adding more choices, elements like new races, new classes, new item definitions, item groups, item types, and so on. So in order to access this option choices module, we need to expand a server group in our Atavism standalone editor, and we need to select option choices. So as you can see, we have some option choices here. There are a bit more of these elements, and we are adding more and more with each release to this section, because it's bringing a lot of possibilities and configurations for developers without the need to change any part of the code. Let's sort it by ID, enter this claim type, and we can see that we have any, that we cannot delete this entry. Then we have residential, we can delete it, and then we have farm, we also can delete this entry. So there are some entries that we can delete and some that we cannot, but we always can add elements to the list. So in this case we have two main claim types, and based on these claim types, for example, we can build specific building objects in our claim. So we can add another claim type. Let's name it castle. Yes, castle. And after we will save it, we can expand it by clicking one time left mouse button, and we can see that we have this castle on the list. And this list is used for items, build objects, and here if we will want to add new object, we have this field like valid claim types, and we can select this, expand this, and we can see that we have our castle here, our castle type. And the same thing we can do within this module. So a while ago we added option to add items on demand. So for example, if you will expand the list and you will see that you don't have required element on the list, you can click plus button and you can add item on demand here, an entry, let's say village, and when we will click save, the village item will be populated in the list. And the same thing if we already have, for example in this case, build object, and we want to edit it, we can click this pencil icon and it will open edit window. We can then edit this to, for example, small village, and it will also be populated in our list. And the same thing we have with claim object category and all elements that we have within option choices. So we can add them on demand, we can edit them on demand. So with this new version, new Atavism standalone editor, you don't have to go directly into the option choices module. Instead, you can add entries on demand or edit them. But of course, if you want to see all entries, you can always switch to option choices. And if we will open object, claim object category, we have some categories here, and here we added small village, so we have this small village, right? So if we will expand it once again, we have this small village entry that we added through the build objects module. And the same rule applies with any other module. So for example, if we will switch to items and we will want to add new item, we will pick, let's say, weapon. And for a weapon we have subtype, and we have sword, axe, mace, gun, greatsword, and so on. And we would like to add something like laser gun. We can click plus button, laser gun, click save, and this laser gun is populated here. We can edit this entry, and even if we will click cancel, this entry will be saved in our option choices, and it was weapon related dictionary. So let's narrow it down to weapon and weapon type. Let's click it, we have laser gun here, and if we will also expand it with one click, you can see that we have this laser gun on our list. So basically this module is very useful because in most cases we are using it on a daily basis when we are adding more entries and we are adding specific configuration for our games, like by default we have sword, axe, mace, staff, bow, gun, greatsword and unarmed. But if we are going to make a science fiction game, then we would like to have laser guns and so on. So it's pretty important to have such ability to configure it without the need to change any part of the code. Another thing that is useful is that you can of course delete any of these entries. So for example, if we will open weapon type and we will want to delete this laser gun, let's click delete button and we will click save. Then we can see that our weapon type doesn't have laser gun on the list anymore. But the good thing is that we have ability to recover it. So for example, if we deleted our option choices entry, we can open this icon, this list of fields and filters, and we can click to show removed choices. And in this case, Atavism standalone editor will show us all entries that were removed from option choices. And in this case, as you can see, we have weapon type laser gun, and we can click right mouse button on the list or 3 dots on the right. It's the same menu, and we can delete this permanently or we can restore it. So if we will click restore and confirm, and we will switch back to our normal view of all current items, and we will switch to weapon and expand the list, we will see that our laser gun was recovered. So this is very useful where we are deleting some elements, and or maybe our team member deleted something and we want to recover it. Also, a nice feature for this Atavism standalone editor is that, for example, we have this laser gun. Let's switch back to our items. Let's add an item. So let's say weapon, laser gun, I don't have laser gun icon, so I will pick just a sword icon. If you want to fill all required fields and you will want to save it, then Atavism will show you fields that are required. So we need the name, let's say laser gun. It is main hand weapon, quality legendary, without binding, and it will cost some diamonds, maybe 10. But the most important thing is that we selected laser gun subtype here. So if we will hit save and we will want to narrow down this item, we can see that this item is on the list. And now if you will want to delete this laser gun from the list, like this, and we will click save, then Atavism is basically keeping us safe and our data consistent. Atavism editor detected that this laser gun is used at items module, section main, and must be changed because we cannot have item without subtype. That's why the new list is presented here. So we have to select anything from the list, so for example sword. And now we can proceed with the script changes. So it will invoke all these changes at once. So as you can see, we have weapon type without this laser gun, and on our item, if we will enter it, we have sword that we assigned to it. And the same thing, the same rule applies with any kind of option choices elements. So Atavism standalone editor is basically keeping us safe to not make any mistakes. For example, we could delete option choices, but this option choice could be used in, for example, weapons, items, or building objects, abilities, and so on. So it would be hard to keep track these elements and remember where we used it and filter all elements, find relations, and so on. So Atavism editor is doing it for us and making it more reliable and more safe for us. So that's all for this part. I think I covered all elements related to option choices. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.